Every role where you are, I think you'll learn something, whether you enjoy it or not. I think you always learn something and take with you. And that's probably the important bit for all the younger generation marketers or younger graduates generally, to know that it doesn't matter if you didn't like a role, you're still going to at least take a 10% that you've learned something new.
Welcome to the Find Your Influence podcast. This episode, proudly sponsored by the Guinea Group of Companies, an organisation that helps leaders upgrade their mindset, upskill their leadership, and uplift their teams. If you would like the opportunity to sponsor an episode of our podcast, please reach out to the team at the Guinea Group, theguineagroup.com.au, the team at theguineagroup.com.au. Can't wait to hear from you. And if you would like to be a podcast guest, click on the information sheet that is available on the podcast page.
Welcome to all our viewers and our listeners. We have got the amazing Laura Zahariou on our podcast today, Find Your Influence, which is such a cool topic. And I always say the only podcast about influence that I can find on Spotify. So it's unique. Who is Laura? Laura is the founder and lead strategist. I like that, lead strategist. In other words, there's a heap of lead strategists at Growth Lane Marketing. Laura also serves as co-chair in relation to branding on the board of IABC, which is the International Association of Business Communicators, Victoria. And that's exciting. Let's unpack that as well, Laura. But what I love about Laura, and one of the reasons that we're lucky enough to have Laura, is because Laura brings over 20 years of experience across a diverse set of industries, including construction, I love it, financial services, not-for-profits, and professional services. Through Growth Lane Marketing, Laura helps small business and medium-sized enterprises with fractional marketing leadership, which I love. Which means, for anyone that hasn't heard that term, it means part-time. It means as not a full-time role. Brand strategy and end-to-end digital marketing. If we were all together, Laura, we would now give you a clap. Please welcome Laura.
Thank you for having me.
Anytime. Did I forget anything?
No, I'm all good, thank you.
Oh, cool. So, Laura, talk us through it. Like, I've given the sort of the broad brush approach, but maybe in your words, in a few bullet points, the history, where it all started, journey.
Sure. Where it all started, I started back in 2005, worked for Suzuki Australia, an exciting Japanese company at the time, and got to learn a lot of things about marketing, and great introduction to marketing, I think, because it is a global company. And then it went on from there. So as you mentioned earlier, I worked across professional services, financial sector, not-for-profits, and more recently construction. Oh, as well as tech. Can't forget tech. Been there for about 5 years in tech industry, which was quite exciting as well. But more recently in construction building, I guess that's given me a look into quite a large industry in Australia, I guess. So I think construction holds us quite tight-knit and produces a lot of profit generally. So I think that's been an exciting journey, and, one that I really enjoyed so far. So, probably one of my favorite industries I've worked so far, I must say.
And what is it about the construction? Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. Why construction? I think generally there's so much you can talk about as a marketer in the construction industry. There's so much you can promote. There's so much you can explain, I guess, and outline as to, why the industry itself, why it's got so many different varied customers as well. I think the customer journey is one that I'll probably take with me for life, as you would say, I guess, because it is so varied. So, with working construction, you had to learn about architects, I had to learn about builders, property developers, engineers, fire engineers. I mean, it is a variety. So having to be across all these customers and the variety of customers, as it's been a great journey as well. So great learning curve.
I love it, and we're always learning, which is cool.
Yes.
I live in a little place called Gladstone, Queensland, where we're a construction town. We're always building something. We're booming something. So There will be some clients up this way for you, I am sure.
I'd love to go into Queensland. I do have a client in Sydney, so I'd love to venture into Queensland market as well. So that'll
There
be
you go.
exciting.
Where are you
Um,
based, Laura?
I'm based in Melbourne.
Thank you.
Yes. So and then obviously since my construction journey, my late last corporate role, I decided that, someone calls me crazy and courageous. I decided to step into this thing called having my own business and having my own consultancy, which has been, I'd tell you, probably the most exciting journey so far. And there's so much I've learned during this journey. I think if I take my whole 20-year career and summarize it into the last, 3 or so months, I think this has been the biggest learning journey. And I think if you're not learning, you've got to be earning. So either one or the other.
We sometimes say, Laura, the more you learn, the more you earn.
I like that too. That's a good one too. I'll use that too.
Done. Wow, what a story, eh? From corporate through construction through. What was Suzuki like being a Japanese company? Was that amazing?
Was amazing. It was a great introduction, as I said. It was very different. At the time, I'm not sure how it is now. This is going back 20 plus years ago, but we had Japanese senior leaders from Japan sitting down with us and, watching us learn, watching us do our job and I guess helping us out. So they had, they wanted to have that full control and seeing what's going on in Australia, which was quite different. Um, but yeah, it was a really good introduction. At the time I was only a very junior marketing assistant. Um, and I was working for a motorcycle section. So not
Right.
the cars, not the exciting, but
Oh,
more so the, yeah.
I love it. Thanks for sharing. Re Reason I ask is the local Toyota dealership is one of our most consistent clients over all these years, and I just love the Toyota and the Japanese influence on that brand, and I also worked for a Japanese company as well, where we had interpreters to help us speak Japanese.
It is
I love
cool.
I love the respect.
Yes. Oh, yes, 100%. That's one thing that it was amazing to learn how they operate and how you can talk to them. And you've got to learn as an employee how to talk to the Japanese senior leadership. So that was really different. And in that role, I actually worked with Leo Burnett. It's one of the famous advertising agencies. So for me, as a junior graduate, to go into learn Leo Burnett's advertising agency was like, how cool.
Isn't it interesting though that you can still, you said, you first of all said, oh, it's 25 years ago. You light up though when you talk about that part of the experience, working with a marketing agency that obviously shaped probably how you do marketing now still.
100%. And even though marketing has changed so much since then, a whole lot, but I think, I guess, every role where you are, I think you'll learn something, whether you enjoy it or not. I think you always learn something and take with you. And that's probably the important bit for all the younger generation marketers or younger graduates generally, to know that it doesn't matter if you didn't like a role, you're still going to at least take a 10% that you've learned something new.
Well said. So agreed totally. And I think learning can be very passive or it can be very active. Like I feel like people say, oh, every day is a school day. Yeah, well, is it? Like, are you going out to deliberately go, this is I really want to become better in this area? And I think people that do, like you just said then, the younger generation, if they do come with that growth mindset, watch the
I think
magic
that,
happen.
yeah, no, definitely 100%. I think learning should be your number one skill set, because without learning, you can't grow. I think you can't grow as a person on a personal level, and you can't grow as a leader or an employee generally. So um, I've been coached by an amazing executive coach, Jack Phillips, who has taught me that learning, like I said before, you're either learning or earning, and if you do both, you're at a sweet spot. That's it.
Go, Jack. What a human. Sounds like Jack. Jack was pretty influential too, by the way. Um, one of the things you just said then is is, Jack, it's really about this whole learning is not only learning, it's a skill. It actually should be like nearly a priority for you. Is that what I'm hearing, Laura? Like it should be something you lean into deliberately. It shouldn't just be something that happens, but it should be something that you work on.
100%. And at all times. And you mentioned earlier on about IABC and me being sitting on the board. I mean, that is one of the reasons why I've joined IABC Victoria is to be able to learn more and to be able to be amongst these amazing, smart, intelligent, um, innovative women and curious women that shape who I am today as well. So, and they'll shape, following years to come because I'm going to learn so much from them. I've learned so much last year. I'll learn even more next year. So, um, I think looking for ways to learn, and it could be creative, it could be different, is probably where every, like I say, every person should look for new ways of learning.
For ways. Wow, that's positive. Look for ways to learn. Thanks so much. Who would have thought we would have a conversation today about developing your skill set from having a learning mentality? Hey, tell me about IABC if you could, please, because I think was it IABC? IABC. Who, on the topic of influence, who's influenced you the most, please, Laura? Like, who do you look at and just go, geez, I'm grateful I met this human?
Oh, okay. At AIBC, I
No, it
can.
doesn't have to be,
It
sorry.
doesn't have to
Anywhere.
be? Right, okay. Well, I guess I'll mix IABC and Jack Phillips. So Jack Phillips, my executive coach, who was an ex-CMO at Visa, who's now an executive coach, wealth of experience. I mean, the way she teaches leadership, the way she um, makes you understand how self-awareness is so important as a leader and as a future leader. I mean, there's so much I could go on and on about Jack Phillips for, days. I think her influential way of leading is just top of the game. Um, and probably at IBC, I would say Amanda Fong, who is our president there. I think her leadership style to me is admiring. And to also remember that this is a communication association. So it is so good to hear when she talks. It's one of those people that you go, wow, you could just sit there and listen for hours. Such a great way of communicating her messages. So yeah, so those two people probably have influenced me in the last few years. My dad, though, on a personal level, has been my, forever influence and someone that's encouraged me to always do um, something that I think I can't do. So it's, you can do anything, Laura. That was always his words. So yeah, it's really important to have someone like that in your life personally.
You can do anything, Laura. That's burnt into your brain, isn't it?
Yeah.
Go,
Otherwise,
Dad.
I wouldn't have started this business. I wouldn't have ventured out.
Was Dad your biggest
Because
cheerleader?
my dad was a business owner as well back in his days, and so when he heard that I did this, he said, "Oh, if I can do it, you can do it."
Isn't that beautiful? I love it. And you probably grew up with a business owner in the family, so you went, well, you know what? Yeah, it's achievable.
Good example, yes.
That's right. And that's probably influence too, being a good example on you by living his dad's dream as well.
100%, 100%. And my mum was a career. I mean, I can't forget about my mum. My
Of
mum's a
course.
little bit more of a non-risk taker, but
Right.
she was always in leadership positions. She was an executive chef. So towards the end of her career, she wasn't cooking anymore. She was just leading teams. So yes, the cooking was amazing. But yeah, I think seeing how they both placed an importance on their career, but still cared for me, obviously, as the child. I think that was nice to see. Lead by example, right?
Beautiful. Isn't that beautiful? Thanks for saying that. That's a beautiful story, Laura. I saw these parents both had their own lives, both had their own dreams, both have successful careers, but I feel like I got the love that I needed and was cherished as a child and was developed as a human. Stop it. Beautiful. Thank you.
No worries.
Now, one thing that you said then, you said Amanda, you could listen to Amanda all day. What is it that Amanda does? Like, can you, for our viewers and our listeners, what's the tip? What's the trick? What is the thing that makes Amanda special? Pretty please.
I think her approachable leadership style, where she provides feedback in a way that I haven't had before through another leader in a corporate world, I'll be honest. So, um, again, I've worked with a lot of leaders in the past, but not, coming back, 20 years ago, leadership has changed dramatically. And back in those days, leaders were communicating a little bit differently and providing feedback differently. But with Amanda, I think her feedback, her style of feedback it's collaborative. And I think I love that because you take that on really well say, I'm not her employee, but as an employee, you would take that really well. And I actually, because that style was very similar to her, I've actually done similar ways when I was leading teams as well. And I think you get a lot more out of that than, micromanagement. I mean, what's micromanagement in 2025? But you get a better way of collaborating with your team, understanding what their needs are, seeing, suggesting your feedback, and then hopefully they take that on board and implement things that you've suggested, or maybe something better will come out of that. You might just
Yeah.
open up another conversation.
It's about the conversation.
Yeah. And the way she speaks as well. I think her presentation skills are very engaging. So when she does speak, she speaks, obviously her experience and the knowledge is amazing, but when she speaks, she engages you. And I think that's really important from a leader.
Go, Amanda.
Go, Amanda.
Thanks for sharing. That's beautifully articulated. And I love how you can say an approachable leader who gives feedback in a collaborative way, which makes you feel like you're part of it. It's not being done to you.
Exactly. 100%.
Yeah, that's unbelievable. That's a really cool answer. Can I use that in future?
Of course. By all means, feel
Thank
free.
you. And I always give you credit. I always give credit because mind you, I just learn so much on these podcasts. Thank you.
You must.
So in saying that, if I pull out my question set to make sure that I at least half follow the script,
Sure.
what does, in general terms, and I know this is a big question because I ask all of our podcast guests this, could you define influence for me, pretty please, Laura? Like, what does that mean for you?
For me, influence means always being curious. Because when you're learning and asking the right questions, it actually expands your perspective. And then you naturally guide others, like we talked about before, not by force, rather than by inspiration. So I think that curious bit is really important for any leader. Um, that comes hand in hand with learning. So yeah.
You would be amazed or not at how many times the word inspiration comes up in these podcast chats. Like a lot of our podcast guests relate influence to inspiration, which I think is really interesting. Because inspiration is really cool. It means that, you've sort of had an impact on someone else that they want to go and achieve what you've achieved, which I think is an amazing trait of a leader to be able to inspire.
100%. And then once you inspire someone, I think you're influencing them in that sense, aren't you?
Absolutely. It's a bit of a cycle, bit of a circle.
Bit of a cycle, yes.
Love it. Thank you. Great question. Now, talking about influence, talking about inspire or inspiration, who are you most proud of? Who's the human or humans that you've taken on a journey that you go, you know what? I really, really love, seeing this person grow.
Yes. I won't mention names just in case if they're not happy to be mentioned. I'm
course.
sure she'll be fine. But I actually hired a young social media coordinator a few years back in my corporate career. And at the time, she didn't have much experience. So a lot of leaders, I think, in today's world, because I think there's so much availability out there in the market, they get stuck and hung on to this, experience. You've got to have experience, etc. And I've given this girl a chance, and I wanted to see how she will develop our social media function. We had no one there, so it was a big job for a young graduate or young marketer. And I'll be honest, she has been my best hire ever. So no experience. The fact that she was so keen to learn, she was so keen to prove herself. And a lot of leaders would say, oh, yeah, but you're going to spend so much time with her. You're going to waste your time mentoring and coaching. Well, that's our job as leaders, to mentor and coach, number one. But number two, I actually didn't spend as much time because she was so keen to learn that she just wanted to show me how she's capable and how she can do it on her own. So it really did prove me wrong in so many senses that you don't always necessarily need experience. I think if you, like we said before, if you're keen to learn, if you're curious to find new things, I think that's where it's a win-win. And yeah, so for any leaders hiring, hey, don't give everyone a chance.
That for all of our listeners and all of our viewers, you heard it first here from Laura Zahariou. Give people a chance. It's not all about skill, Laura.
Not all about
It's all about attitude, isn't it?
it is. It's attitude, it's in how it's how you gel with the company, how you gel with the team, how you connect, how you collaborate. So many things.
Collaborate.
So
That's
many
right.
things more than just an experience.
So I always say social fit, like how you're going to fit into the team.
100%.
Your
100%.
social skills on. I love that. Isn't that great? Yeah, isn't that great? We're just so proud of a hire that it would have been easy not to make that hire, and you look back on it and you think, jeepers creeps, I'm glad I made that decision.
Oh, yeah, 100%. And on the other hand, I've hired some really experienced people, and maybe they just weren't that right fit.
Yeah, that's right.
So it's it's a bit of a both. So you can you can make a mistake with the experienced people as well.
Of course. We go with our gut at the time and with obviously our frontal lobes as well, and we make the best decision with the information we got at the time, and then sometimes we got to change course.
Correct. And we all make mistakes, I guess. That's another learning path, isn't it?
Don't make it twice, as they say. I managed to do
Yes, don't
that
make
quite a few times.
it. Learn from them, right?
That's right. That's right. Thank you. And here's a bit. I heard the other day, Laura, that the definition of wisdom is actually learning from other people's mistakes, not having to make your own.
Ooh, I love that. I love that.
So, we sort of make our own mistakes, but when you can get to the point where you don't, where you learn from others, that's part of that learning journey. Anyway, thought I'd share that one.
I'm going to use that too, if I can.
Yours, yours, yours. We're sharing knowledge, and
We're
we're sharing
sharing. Yeah, yes, exactly.
cliches maybe, but analogies, quotes. Um, so so you talked about coaching and mentoring before, Laura.
Mm.
If in your business now, or maybe in the past, how would you coach leaders or even team members to be more influential? Like, how do you, is that a skill you feel like you could coach and you could train to get to say where someone like Amanda got to with her communication?
100%. 100%. I think my number one thing is to provide clarity to your team and to do that always. Because that clarity gives people confidence and removes any fear, but then decision making just becomes much easier. Now, I talked about self-awareness before. I think that's another key factor in every leader. And I think that is really difficult sometimes to have as a leader. And some people just not naturally born with it. Um, but and that's what, again, Jack taught me. Having that self-awareness makes you understand who you are first to be able to then mentor and coach someone else. Um, it's your behavior. It really starts with knowing yourself first and then knowing others. I think that comes hand in hand. And then, like I said before, as a leader, I think if you encourage learning, if you encourage innovation and staying curious, all those things gelled into one will only make you a better leader. It gives you a full sort of scope. And another key thing, which I think a lot of leaders are afraid of, is to be challenged. So I think a good leader is open to being challenged. And yes, it is difficult. I understand because I've been challenged before and it is difficult, but it's how you then respond to that and how you then are open to, okay, well, yeah, that makes sense. So how can we then work on that together? Um, so yeah, that's my little few things about coaching and mentoring.
Thank you. Are you open to ideas? Are you open to opinions? Are you open to views?
100%.
And that's sort of a little bit around the work that we do in relation to psychological safety, having a team that has a voice,
Yes.
speak
100%.
up. Don't feel like
100%.
they're pushed down.
And the team that has a voice is probably the best performing team.
They feel heard.
They feel heard and then want to, get better and then want to be heard and then want to talk more and then want to share ideas more. So that's where that's where gold happens. Gold is created.
Laura, we always say psychologically safe.
Love it. Love
I
it.
said, thank you. Being open to ideas is a big deal. Do you, in your life, and I know we've probably talked about this one a little bit, but have you got a quote have you got a favourite quote, like a leadership quote?
I do. I don't know if it's a leadership quote, but
Right.
the thing that I always live by, because as a person at home, personally, on a personal level, I'm a little bit of a perfectionist, which sometimes is not great. A little bit of OCD, making sure your pillows are straight on your couch and things like that, make my husband mad. But over time in my corporate life, I've heard many times people talk about good is good enough. And so for me, it's progress over perfection. And I think that's really important,
Deb's laughing.
especially,
That's good fun.
especially when you're in business, I think, because if I am sitting here dwelling on something and not actually putting it out there, well, that's just wasted time, wasted engagement, wasted content. So, yeah.
What do you think, Deb? Do you agree?
This is something I need to learn. I'm trying so hard to follow that.
Maybe we can get maybe we can get you a coffee chat.
It's so
Oh,
hard.
it is hard. And, at home, I'm not great at that. I'll be honest. I'm still not good at home personally. But at work, I'm working very hard because I've just got to get stuff done.
I'm trying.
No, you're doing well. You're doing so well. Doing so well.
Well done.
I knew Deb's ears would prick up when you said that. Look, progress over perfection. And I love the care and attention that Deb brings to the business. Oh, thank you.
That's my sign.
Oh, there you go.
I made it for myself.
Progress over perfection. I love it. Oh, she's got the same mantra. Oh, I
That's
love it.
right. And that's a little sort of
Badge.
there.
So
Badge.
yes, I'm learning.
Love it.
How crazy is that? It's so aligned with what Deb
I
thinks.
know, right?
Fantastic. Have you got plenty of pillows on your bed? Are you like one of the no, just on the couch?
Plenty of pillows everywhere.
Right, have you? Right.
On the bed, on the couch, everywhere. But all neatly stacked, of course.
Absolutely. No, I make my bed every morning and pack the pillows back up, and
Right.
it's quite the ordeal actually in the morning. There's quite a few of them to fluff up and stuff. Anyway, you've been amazing, Laura. Anything else that you would like to share with our listeners? What have we forgotten on the top of influence? Is there anything we haven't covered off?
Covered a lot of the things. I think just generally, I guess that mentoring and coaching is so important in anyone's lives. Doesn't matter who you are, what you do, whether you're in HR, marketing, or if you're just a tradie on the site. I think that coaching, I think that's changed. The way of leadership has changed, dramatically, I feel, in the last 5 to 10 years. And I hope this keeps changing and keeps improving so that we can get the best out of people.
We talk about the 1900s leaders, Laura, and there's still a few of those on construction sites.
And not just on construction sites. I think
Oh, In the boardroom too.
Yeah.
Right. I'm very naive. I get to work.
Unfortunately, but there is. Yeah.
I do the same work that Jack does, and get to meet so many leaders. And I always say we're very lucky because we must attract really lovely, good humans. You know, we don't get too many. I don't see too much of that sort of leadership anymore, thankfully. And I'm sure it's out there still. But I think in a psychologically safe society and workplaces in 2025, I think you're right. The trend is good. The upward spiral towards care factor leadership, bold, emotional leadership, empathetic, compassionate leadership, I think is all going well. Cool. That's well said. And actually, very quickly, I've got to ask
Yeah.
you, have you seen the movie Collateral Beauty?
Oh, I haven't. No.
Oh, Will Smith
Okay.
runs a
Collateral Beauty.
marketing agency.
Oh, really? How did I not see that?
Oh,
Older
look.
movie?
Sorry?
Is it an older movie?
Yeah, probably 10 years, maybe.
Okay.
Great
Oh,
story.
cool. I'll have
So
to watch it.
I'd do it. He has some personal tragedy, so but he loses his way a little bit, and then he gets it back. He really gets it back. But at the start of the movie, there's this great scene where he talks about being in a marketing agency, and he says, "We're not here, excuse the language, to sell shit. We are here to illuminate brands."
Like that. Hmm?
Me too.
Love that.
And that's always stuck with me. And every time I think about a marketing agency now, I think their name was Dunlum, Mifflin or something, some weird name. But I just think we're illuminating. And I think when we're marketing, when you're doing something for your clients, you're illuminating. And I think from illumination comes influence to buy.
100%. Yeah. Yeah, you're right, actually. What my work does in marketing does influences buyers, right? So yep, it is that. 100%.
Thanks, Laura.
Thank you.
Cool. Now, Laura, I always ask this question at the end of each podcast chat. Who do you think I should speak to next? Who's the
Okay.
person?
Do you have a couple of people in mind? Lucy Boland, she's a recruiter. I don't know if you've been in contact with her. She's a Melburnian as well. She's got her own business. She always gives back to community, so I love her approach. So she's not just a recruiter. That's what I see her as. But I don't know if Rob recommended you Monica Herman.
Chris
Have you
spoken to Monica?
have you ever spoken to
Yes.
Monica? Okay, Mon's
Monica.
great too.
She,
Yeah.
amazing.
And maybe Natalie Moore, but I don't know, because if this is more about leadership, this will be interesting. Natalie Moore, check her profile out. She's really into the Possibility Project. So she's all about mental health. She's actually could align well with you because she's all about that sort of side. So I think Natalie Moore could be another one.
Possibility.
And she's got her own business as well. So she does a lot of workshops and training and things like that to the business for other businesses. So
You're amazing. You have been fantastic. Thank you so very much. Thanks for chatting to us today on the Find Your Influence podcast.
thank you, Anton.
Thanks for listening. We just had an amazing guest on to another amazing podcast of Find Your Influence. My name's Anton Guinea, and for 20 years, I have been sitting, working with, training, coaching, and consulting leaders at all levels of organizations. I've coached Gen Z leaders right through to baby boomer leaders. I've done 1,500 one-on-one leadership coaching sessions. My mission on this planet is to help leaders create high-performing and psychologically safe teams. If you want to upgrade your leadership, upskill your teams, or upskill your leadership, please reach out. You can get me at anton@theguineagroup.com.au. Please tune into our next episode. These podcast chats are amazing. The value and the information that you get will help you be more influential and help you be a better leader.